play sooner than later. All of a sudden, Geno throws 2 interceptions and everyone's screaming for Jalen Milroe. And I don't want to see that. I don't want that for Geno. I want Geno to have a year or two to really win for the Silver and Black.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I think, Pete Carroll, he'll be able to keep things calm in-house with people talking. And I think, as far as, like, Jalen Milroe learning, I feel like Geno Smith is the best quarterback in the NFL right now for him to learn from.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a high compliment. Thanks for the call. We are back up on YouTube at JT the Brick YT. I guess the zapping, maybe something zapped the building and the Wi-Fi is back if you want to give it a chance again. I like Jalen Milroe. The caller, that's a very important phone call. Very important phone call. Jalen Milroe out of Alabama is a freak, a lunatic freak athletically. And if you parked him and developed him, you could have a Lamar Jackson. Probably not. Lamar Jackson is on the verge of being a Hall of Famer, but talent-wise and ability, you line up Jalen Milroe and you line up Lamar Jackson at the same age, they do everything identically. Everything. Let's give Lamar the edge, but not much athletically. And when you want to get an athlete or a freak, you got to go get him. You're not going to be able to wait. I'm amazed at how many fans, not Raider fans, fans overall who are just, hey, let's wait. Let's wait to get our guy. What do you mean, let's wait? There's 31 other teams. Yeah. You're not waiting. They might want your guy. That's why Ashton Jeanty is so important. If the Raiders want to get him at 6, what happens if Ashton Jeanty goes 3? Look at the New York Giants. They let go of who? Saquon Barkley. Ashton Jeanty's available. They got Russell Wilson. They got Jameis Winston. If they don't take Shador, Ashton Jeanty's going to be right there. Now, look, they might take Abdul Carter, and everybody wants Travis Hunter. But you're talking about Ashton Jeanty might not be there at 6. But a lot of NFL draft experts believe that he will be there. So this is risk reward. This is going to be a fun draft for the Raiders because when we wake up on April 24th and the draft is going to be in Green Bay, and we're going to sit back and say, okay, I wonder what's going to happen today. We might get shocked. I was shocked last year when they picked Brock Bowers at 13. That was pretty shocking. What a blessing in disguise that turned out to be. I was also shocked when we were up at the nightclub at the Cromwell and they picked Clelin Ferrell. And I was there with Marcel Reese and Nicole Zalumis, and they both said, who? JT, go. And I went because I knew who Clelin Ferrell was because I watched the national championship game with Hunter Renfrow, and he was the defensive captain of Clemson. Now, did I think he was going to go number 4? Hell no. Let's fast forward to going back to that nightclub. And I was sitting outside, upper deck with Fred Biletnikoff and the Raiders and Jim Plunkett. I was sitting outside. The weather was gorgeous. At number 7, JT, get down to the stage. I'm going to make the pick. Who? Tyree Wilson? Oh, boy. JT, head on out there. Tell him about him. Okay. All right, I got a little bio here. I'll tell you what I think. Injured guy in a boot, not ready to play. Freakish athlete like Kevin Durant. See what happens. I'm done with that. I want a guy who's going to be, again, Brock Bowers. I talk about that with Lincoln. We talked about it on the cruise. Lincoln and I were in Mazatlan. Lincoln's mom, we were sitting there, my wife, we were in a cabana. I said, what do you think, Link? Remember us, man? We get called up there, and Lincoln's laughing, going, man, Brock Bowers last year, and Lincoln bailed me out because Lincoln was like, this is going to work. Lincoln liked it. He liked the blocking schemes and the tight end. But everybody was walking around Omnia nightclub going, don't we have a tight end named Michael Mayer? Why'd we take a tight end? Well, he's the best player available. The best player available. Brock Bowers should have been taken in the top 6. He dropped all the way to 13, right after Bo Nix. Oh, boy. Could have had Bo Nix. I don't know. I don't think Sean Payton would have allowed anybody to get Bo Nix. He was ready to pounce. Could have got Michael Penix. Don't know how good he's going to be. All right, so give us a chance. We're back on YouTube. The Wi-Fi's up. JT the Brick YT. It's free. Go check out what we're doing. Coming up next, Jeff Sherman, VP of Risk Management over at the Westgate, on what happened last night, how people bet the national championship game. It fell right on the number, right? 1.5-point spread, 2-point game. And then Jeff is a legend when it comes to golf on how to bet the Masters. You're going to bet Scotty Scheffler. There's no Tiger. You're going to bet Rory to do it. Is there a dark horse? If you're going to gamble, we value this segment coming up on Tuesdays. Jeff Sherman will join us. Lizzie Duzable will join us at 105, former 10-year defensive lineman on the upcoming draft. And Gilbert Manzano from Sports Illustrated has an exclusive on Ashton Genty. I reached out to him today. As soon as I saw it, he's going to join us at 1:30. JT in Vegas brought to you by Modelo. Bucket of Modelo's on Friday. You know Modelo is the #1 beer in America. All right, I'm getting good at getting us back up when we go dark. Leger. What did I say? Leger. Yep. Yeah, we'll keep this going a little bit. Feel like we're hitting a little bit of a wall today. We don't got a lot of people in here. I'm off tomorrow. We'll do something else. Big D, you think the Bears will jump the Raiders for Genty? Wow. Okay.
Reach out to the Castroverdi Law Firm. Let their family fight for yours. Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck.
And next year, the Final Four is going to be in Indianapolis again. Jesus Christ. How many Indianapolis Final Fours are there? God. Then Vegas is after that.
It's going to be Fight Talk about trading for Gino.
Okay. My Yankees playing today.
Yep.
They lost again to the Tigers 5-0. You got to be kidding me.
You're tied for first place for the Sox. It's April. We got time.
Yep, cranky Yankee, cranky Yankee.
We're going to see the Sox get by Toronto for Christ's sake. They're actually pretty decent this year. Their pitching ain't half bad.
Our team has the expertise to make sure your coverage meets your needs.
Shutout in Detroit. Pathetic.
Our award-winning team keeps track of all the important regulatory issues that impact your business.
Unbelievable. How the hell you get shut out by the bleeping Detroit Tigers? How is that even possible?
I'll tell you.
5-0? Who the hell pitched today? The hell is this garbage? Carrasco, 4 1/3, 4 earned runs. Fucking Yankees can't pitch through the 5th inning, man. They just can't get through the 5th inning,
The
man.
Yankees are going to have to score 10 runs a game to freaking win because the pitching is blow out. They're cold at hell crowd.
Who's moving to the Tempe, Phoenix area? Black Suede?
Great cities are built on strong foundations. The skilled members of Laborers Local 872 never stop building. From the asphalt on our roads, the concrete in our buildings, the solar fields powering the economy.
Hey, Jeff, Bobby, how you doing?
Work safely.
Good, I'll get up
Laborers
to
Local
JK one minute,
872
okay?
is modernizing the Nevada workforce and building a
Where you
global city. The future is Union Strong.
Well, they're good one. My roommate's a freaking Yankee fan, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she, from Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it, all right.
For the 2025-2026 school year. Applications for AP Spanish, AP English, and math teachers, as well as college counselor, alumni counselor, and driver for our.
I don't calm down when the Yankees lose. I get pissed off. Period.
Or call 702-844-2019. Modelo is an official cerveza of the Las
Aaron
Vegas
Boone
Raiders
still has
and
a
the
job.
JT the Brick Show.
Aaron Boone sucks. Aaron Boone should have been fired 10 times by the Yankees.
Okay, it's a spy tech. Here we go. Sherman's all set.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by PT's, the best happy hour in town, 5 to 7 p.m. and midnight to 2 a.m.
Trying to be involved in any possible player movement that was out there at the quarterback position. And, obviously there's a familiarity with Coach and with Gino from Seattle, and really Gino played his best football for Coach there. And, when you've watched Gino through the years, he can throw the football with the best of any of them, honestly. I mean, you watch some of the throws he makes over and over again, downfield, short, intermediate, the touch is there, the arm strength is there. And, when you have Coach Carroll in your camp and he can swear by the player, the competitor, the worker, the leader, that's a front row seat, or that's information that, if I was still with the Bucs, for instance, we wouldn't have. And, so as we got into it and we evaluated the options in free agency, the other players that maybe were available via trade, ultimately we arrived at a spot where we thought adding Gino made a lot of sense for us. It upgraded the position, in our opinion.
The Sean Spytek on Gino, who was introduced yesterday. JT with you. Brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, my number one go-to vodka. Tito's. Go to Tito's.com for all recipes and all signature cocktails. Jeff Sherman joins us, VP of Risk Management, Masters Week over at the Westgate. So take me through the national championship game last night, right there on the number, 2-point game. I thought Florida should have been beaten with a few minutes left to go, but they stayed around and came from behind to beat Houston. How'd you see it?
Yeah, tremendous handle on the game. We had a lot of +1 support for Houston and a lot of money line support for Florida. And we dealt a 10-cent spread on that, so that did help increase our handle. The Sharps played the under 141 on that game, but tremendous handle. Interesting game. Like you said, Houston really was in control until the end, until the run happened by Florida. And it was great for the in-play, too, because we had a lot of support on both teams. People thinking Houston was going to hold on and then getting a nice price on Florida coming back.
So you had a great handle there, and also the in-game would have been interesting to me because of all the missed threes and the poor field goal shooting. I mean, that was a bad basketball game. Big, exciting finish, which came right down to the wire, but both teams couldn't hit a three-pointer, and they kept taking them.
Yeah, and that leads to support in the in-play aspect of it too, because you see those fluctuations, and it really, we had an excellent handle on that.
Liability on Florida, just as a 1 seed, you had all the chalk coming in there, 2 1 seeds there down the stretch. I'm sure it was split evenly because there were a lot of Houston fans over the last 2 or 3 years that thought they were going to win at least one championship with this squad. Yeah,
we had liability on Houston. We dug ourselves out of Florida. We are a small positive to Florida. They reached as high as 80-1 earlier this season. So there were some nice tickets on them, but we ended up a small winner with Florida winning.
Jeff Sherman's our guest over at the Westgate, Senior VP of Risk Management. So what do you think of this Mike Malone firing today, the head coach at Denver, who recently won a championship, coaches the best player in the world? I mean, a lot of NBA fans can't believe this. Will this get a little pop, little motivation for Denver to go on a run here? I didn't see this happening.
Yeah, nobody saw it happening. It shocked our back room, and then you look into it, and they say, the Nuggets 11-13 since the All-Star break, and frustrations by some players, and I guess there was friction between Malone and Calvin Booth in the front office, and they let Booth go too. So it seems like there was a lot more behind the scenes than we saw from the public perspective of that, because it's interesting timing, just like Taylor Jenkins in Memphis. They let him go just a week ago, and going into the playoffs, it's not the best time. And because of that, I made some adjustments. So I bumped the Nuggets up from 25 up to 30-1 for the title. And, just because of the perception of what's going on there.
Well, Lakers have been surging. How have you moved their odds recently?
They've been back and forth between 10 and 14-1. And every time they win, I lower them. And when they lose, I raise them. And it's just been in that range. But, you look at the makeup of the Western Conference, and they look like the likely 3 seed. And then between 4 and 8, it's wide open because all those teams have 32 losses with a few games to go. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out and who the opponents match up to be. You could have a team like the Clippers ending up in 8 and getting Oak City in the 1. So it's a precarious position.
Public loves the Warriors. What's changed with them over the last week or two?
Yeah, they're down to 12-1 with the Lakers, and the public has been riding them with their hot streak that they've been on, coming off that loss to Houston. But before that, they've been playing excellent basketball. Ever since Jimmy Butler got there, their power rating has drastically changed. and they're right there with the Lakers. It looks like OKC by a distance, but then the Lakers and Warriors are 2 and 3 in the West.
All right, let's head to your expertise in the Masters. 72-hole winning score, 276.5. Have you adjusted anything with the rain that we've seen and the softening of the course, and maybe some rain in the forecast coming up here?
I mean, we're at 11.5 under par, like you mentioned, and it's a pretty close number to what they've reached the past few years. And Augusta can set this up however they want by the pin positions to adjust for the rain and the wind. So we expect to target somewhere around there. We've taken good two-way on that number, but tremendous handle so far leading up to this tournament. You get some attractive odds on some golfers in the 40 to 50 to 1 range. And right now, Scheffler at 9 to 2, McIlroy 7 to 1. They're leading the way in money wagered and up there in ticket count too.
I saw this one: Scheffler, McIlroy, Morikawa, Oberg win the Masters. Yes, plus 125. No, minus 145. Seems like some heavy favorites coming into this one.
Yeah, and Oberg has not been getting too much support lately. I bumped him up to 20 to 1, so he's kind of taken his aspect away from that. And Morikawa seems like the number 3 guy right now from a support standpoint. But, we try to do props and mix things up like that and get people thinking like, will a live golfer win the tournament? And there's 12 live golfers this year. So I opened that plus 250 and took sharp money on the no. So we're up to plus 350 on the yes for that.
Any sharps hitting anyone in between 40 to 1 to 60 to 1 where you had to move the number?
Well, Shane Lowry's getting some support lately. And today, Robert McIntyre, he's at 50 to 1 right now, and some sharp support showing up for him. He's a lefty, been in good form. And, the lefty with their fade, they can perform well, like we've seen in the past with Mickelson, Bubba Watson.
You're talking about the live golfers here. I'm seeing Rahm at 18 to 1, DeChambeau at 16 to 1. I watched DeChambeau on the range today. He used 4 different driver heads trying to dial it in there. He's just an interesting golfer when he comes to Augusta with his length, and we know how much he studies putting, but putting at Augusta is different than anywhere else on the live tour coming in.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But, the one thing about Bryson is, ever since, especially when he won his U.S. Open recently, he is an extremely popular golfer in the wagering handle. And right now he's sitting at number 3 in tickets, number 4 in money. So you don't see his odds drift out too high, even if he's not in the best form. But they love to support him, and he's really become a fan favorite lately.
And what about Spieth and Justin Thomas coming in here, guys who can really dial in their short game and win with their putter?
Yeah, Spieth, he hasn't been able to put 4 rounds together.
Right.
He's been in contention recently, but we're sitting at 35 to 1 on him, have some liability on him because he's always a public favorite at Augusta with his prior history. Justin Thomas, he's one that I supported at 30 to 1. And I like his form that he's done early in the season, and he's been knocking on the door. And if he can just get it together, he's got the pedigree of winning some previous majors. So he's one that I definitely like.
What do you got going on at the Westgate for the Masters? I know you have viewing rooms. A lot of locals and a lot of golf fans love what you do for the Masters there. What's in store?
We'll have it on multiple TVs with sound, and we stream it early in the morning. So we'll have all the different channels that are available. So get a great viewing experience, as many channels as you can find.
Thank you, Jeff. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, JD.
All right, that's Jeff Sherman, who's a busy guy because his Twitter feed is at Golf Odds, and he's fantastic with that. So the Masters, betting it seems like it's heavy with the chalk, the favorites here, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Morikawa, Oberg, if you like it there. Is there someone in that 20 to 40 to 1 range that you'd like, and you can cash a big ticket here? No Tiger Woods. No Tiger Woods at the Masters, which is not a tradition unlike any other. I look forward to watching it this weekend as we get going. Hour number 1, I'll say goodbye to the bricklayers. Thanks for putting up with the Wi-Fi today. Coming up in hour number 2, Leger Douzable, former defensive lineman for 10 years in the NFL. I want to talk to the defensive side of the draft. And also Gilbert Manzano at the bottom of the hour. He'll do a deep dive on Ashton Genty. He wrote a great column for Sports Illustrated. If you think the Raiders are going running back, you don't want to miss that in 30 minutes. Brought to you by Boyd Gaming.
The Chicago Cubs versus the Los Angeles Dodgers this weekend, Saturday at 6.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Radio 1100 AM and 100.